I'm Nesca. Oh, bros. We're watching
Cosplayers Who Became Criminals by Wavywedsurf. I think that's his name. If I'm screwing that up, I'm sorry.
Yay.
Punisher with a Comic-Con murder plot to a redneck Raven cosplayer kidnapping a teen.
What? No, what was he going to say that she did?
Kidnapped a teenager.
To a Japanese Joker truly fed up with society. Today we'll be exploring the bizarre underbelly of the cosplaying community, discussing a handful of eccentric crimes.
Hey, the Japanese Joker just watched the Joker movie.
I think that's, I've seen this, I think that's actually happened.
That's actually his reason.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's gonna be
Committed by some of its more unhinged, costumed characters. Anime, gaming, and cosplaying conventions can be some pretty stinky
Furry.
places. Might want to stop the stench with today's sponsor, Mando. Mando is great.
Yeah,
It's a
deodorant.
high-performance
So that's the
whole-body
last
deodorant. The Power Ranger Arson Attack. Cosplaying at conventions is a time-honored tradition, with millions across the country regularly participating. Most of the time,
Oh, wait. The Waluigi just came out of nowhere. Damn that Peach. But we're going to Comic-Con in March.
Comic-Con Kansas City.
Planet Comic-Con. So you can see us. We have an artist booth somewhere. Once I get the information of where my artist booth is, don't have that yet, I will say it. Maybe try to post a picture of the map so you can try finding
What
us.
is the worst story you've seen or heard when all the years we've gone to the convention? I think we've avoided a lot of the stuff.
You know, I got a story. I got a story real fast.
And I got a story after that one.
Okay, honest thing that never happened to me. It was in 2012. I had just broken up with my ex. Me and my cousin were going to a convention. I believe it was called NakaCon. So she and I were going to a convention together just to hang out because I wanted to get out of my head and not be depressed anymore and hang out with my cousin because she's my best friend. We were dressed up as Kingdom Hearts characters. I was Axel and she was Larxene. And the randomest thing happened to me. As soon as I got home, I had an email from a random person. I have no idea how the fuck they got my email, but they emailed me saying, "Hey, you're that Axel cosplay from NakaCon. I wanted to say hi." And it's like, okay, how'd you get my email? I think they were like someone who was a staff member.
Oh.
And it was so funny. They were like hitting on me, trying to get like a one-night stand. I ended up scaring them off because of my my kind of demeanor. So that was funny.
You know the story I'm about to tell. The first time you and me went to a con together, it's SasameCon 2013.
Oh, the Rash of Doom.
So the week prior, I thought that'd be a nice, make a little extra money, help my grandparents out, and I cleared out a bunch of brush in the backyard that was covered in poison ivy. All over the rim of my neck, all over this left arm, down the small of my back, a little bit down the crack of my ass.
I made you cosplay as Link.
I was Link that was probably poisoned.
You were dying.
The worst was the left arm. It has swollen up to twice the size it is now.
You had to take a hotel towel and wrap up your arm. There's pus everywhere.
And we went through so many towels, they were like a pile of crusty towels in the corner. It's bad when you have to go to the doctor the next day to get a steroid shot because it was so bad.
Ooh.
But
Yeah, the convention probably made it worse. Oh, damn. Okay,
it's just a
sorry.
fun hobby that allows otherwise unrelated
that's
people
cool.
to meet up, offering a great opportunity to make new friends. On one occasion, however, a woman was met with a nightmare situation after a crazed stalker who participated in the community took notice of her. The story begins in January of 2019, when the annual Anime Los Angeles convention was set to take place at the Ontario Convention Center. Anime enthusiasts attended the event, with many showing up in elaborate outfits, cosplaying as their favorite characters. One such individual was Matthew Toyotome, also known as Ninja Lee. He was a part of a Power Rangers cosplay group, and usually dressed up as the Yellow Power Ranger. Taking a look at his social media, Matthew was quite the peculiar figure. Aside from the Yellow Ranger stuff, he often posted photos of himself wielding replica firearms, LARPing as a covert secret agent of sorts, with him hiding behind trees.
Dude, I'm trying to click too, you know. So he's normally I see he's got some muscles and stuff. He normally cosplays, looks like kind of
Rambo-esque.
But he chose to cosplay as a female ranger.
I thought the female ranger was the pink one.
It's the pink and yellow. I guess it maybe depends on which generation, but I remember that the original pink and yellow were females.
Huh.
I remember because the yellow one was my favorite.
And taking tactical positions behind walls and trash cans. Though odd, his behavior was innocuous. Matthew's true slide into criminality is born out of an unhealthy obsession. The man began developing feelings towards a woman in his cosplaying circle. Her name was Julia.
Oh. Yeah, you can see where this is gonna be going.
It's sad.
Julia was a member of Matthew's Power Ranger group, and she dressed up as the Pink Ranger.
Of course.
The story goes that Matthew would eventually make his romantic feelings known to Julia, but she wasn't interested and politely rejected his advances. At this point, you would expect that he would simply accept his losses here and move on with his life like a normal person. But if he did, we wouldn't be talking about this guy, would we?
Is what he's pretty good looking too. I mean, there's plenty of fish in the sea, man.
Yeah, but I don't think his looks is his main problem. I think he's probably a little off.
Hey, some people like the off.
Depends on what off is.
I'm.
Yeah, you and me both are weirdos. We know that.
Yep.
Matthew was furious about getting rejected. His anger simmered and boiled over into a full-on hatred towards the Pink Ranger that politely rejected his advances. The deranged man started plotting his revenge, a plan that he would eventually execute during one of the night's festivities at Anime LA Con. On January 16th, Matthew strolled into the parking lot of the Azure Hotel and Suites, where Julia's vehicle was parked. In surveillance footage that was later publicly released online, you can see the man casually smoking a cigarette. Later in the...
Ooh, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah, it does look weird.
No, I mean, just that whole scene.
Yeah.
Because we know what's probably going to be happening here, and that just looks so haunting. But, I have to say, that's the hardest thing when it comes to love. Because you gotta find someone that you find attractive. You gotta find someone who shares your same kind of mentality for the most part. Same kind of interest and stuff. It's so fucking hard.
Yeah, especially, I think it's even worse now than when you and me were trying to date. Have you been noticing lately there's been more Tinder ads on YouTube?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I've noticed. I've never seen a Tinder ad on YouTube. When we were going to bed, I saw 3 of them before we passed out.
Really? I don't remember seeing them.
I guess you block out ads in your mind.
Maybe, yeah.
Clip, he walks over to her car and pours gasoline all over it before proceeding to set it on fire. As Matthew quickly left the scene of the crime, flames engulfed the surrounding cars in the lot, causing massive amounts of property damage.
I feel bad for anyone caught in the crossfire. How would you feel? You had your Thunderbird parked next to that particular car.
What's the natural enemy of a Power Ranger?
I'm
gonna turn into that. What's one you could think of?
The ooze?
I'm gonna turn into that and go take it out on his ass. It's been forever since I've seen Power Rangers. Yeah, the trail of fire going down the curb.
It's getting on the trees too.
This is in California too.
You know, that's, to be honest, that was actually not as bad as I thought what he was going to do. Unless she's in there, that was not as bad as I thought what he was going to do. I mean, still bad, don't get me wrong, still bad, but I thought he was going to, shoot her or something. Unless that comes later. Ooh, let's see.
This also resulted in the hotel's fire alarms being triggered. Authorities were called soon after, with hotel customers even being evacuated. Local news outlet ABC7 interviewed a hotel patron named Hank Lugan, who had this to say.
One of the police officers were cutting through one of the cars, This is crazy. I think one of the people that we actually know.
It's a Legend of Zelda shirt. Is she Link? You cute little Coco? You Coco? Coco?
ADHD taking over.
Huh? No, you did. I'm trying to remember how you say the Legend of Zelda chickens' names. They're not just called chickens.
Don't ever fuck with the chickens.
Don't fuck with the chicken.
Their cars are like completely melted.
While nobody had been
Damn.
physically injured, 7 different vehicles in total sustained some form of damage. Despite the fire, police were initially hesitant to classify it as an arson attack, though their opinion regarding this matter soon changed after being provided footage of the guy literally creating the fire by the hotel manager. When questioned, Julia and her at-the-time boyfriend quickly identified Matthew as the individual in the video. The man was soon arrested, being charged not just for the arson attempt, but for his obsessive stalking as well, being given and held on a whopping $250,000.
Yeah, I know it hurts, but dude, find someone else to obsess over. Sometimes it's not as hard as you think.
Bail. Julia would make an Instagram post
Shit.
detailing the ordeal, thanking everyone for their support and asking for contributions to her GoFundMe, which eventually raised over $15,000.
What would insurance do for that?
I mean, they'll pay it because it's not, you didn't plan on it. They write you a check and say, good luck getting another car.
Some of the other victims of the fire also asked for donations, with the entire cosplay community rallying together to try to give what they could. This guy was clearly a disturbed individual, and I'm thankful that his incel rage only resulted in property damage and that nobody was physically injured or worse.
Yeah.
Redneck Raven cosplayer gets prison. Teen Titans is a classic superhero show in the minds of both casual and hardcore cartoon lovers. Adults and children alike found the characters layered and dynamic, with Raven possibly being the best example within the show. Our next subject was
Fuck Teen Titans Go. That probably would kill Cartoon Network.
At this point, maybe. Or just people not caring to go. Cable. Cable is like dead.
Yeah.
a Raven cosplayer who not only fails to emulate Raven in just about every way imaginable, but this Titan ironically would help in the kidnapping of a teen. On November 4th, 2022, an unnamed teenage girl was abducted by a then 22-year-old man named Kobe
Why? Why would you assist in this?
Jerome Jordan. He had allegedly picked her up in his truck late at night, bringing her to the home of a woman named Molly Michelle Jarrett, who lived in the town of Pansy, Alabama.
Alabama.
Hey, Reptar.
Why does that look like someone we know?
Shut up.
Woman named Destiny Star Lewis was also present throughout this entire ordeal. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, this kidnapped young girl had initially gone with the man willingly. To this day, it's unclear what the girl's relationship to these three adults were, and if it is known, it might be hidden for privacy purposes.
If I had to guess, it was probably like if they met up at a convention, be like, "Hey, you want to come over and hang out?" And they wanted.
I like your name, Mrs. Read the name to read the.
Mississippi Gonzo, aka Rip Red Corn. Hi, Gonzo.
However, it can be reasonably assumed that she was on decent terms with them beforehand, making what happened next all the.
Why is she even in a Raven cosplay out of? This ain't like at a con. This is just random.
No, I'm saying they probably came from a con. And, like I said, they were, what's the word, not grooming, but, well, kind of grooming, but they were basically wanting to kidnap kids at conventions, because you know people at conventions are usually kind of easy to prey on.
Yeah.
More shocking. The girl was taken to an abandoned building in Jackson County, Florida. Keep in mind that Pansy is close to the border between the two states, meaning that they hadn't actually traveled that far. This is where the pleasantries seemed to stop, with Kobe binding her limbs with duct tape and brutally beating her. The trio then
shit.
dumped the teenager at a seemingly random spot nearby, driving back home to Alabama soon after. The young girl was fortunately able to break free of her bonds and got out and found help. A report had already been filed after she was spotted by a nearby resident, with the teen's testimony resulting in an investigation.
I gotta check my 3D print. I hear it's fucking up.
Sorry
about that.
Take a quick break. Anyway, where we left off, basically they kidnapped this.
They kidnapped a girl, taped her, beat her, abandoned her.
Why beat?
This guy's
Being
fucked
launched.
up in the
Given the
head.
fact that the victim knew exactly, who the perpetrators were and where they lived, it wasn't
I'm gonna say he's missing a chromosome. Just look at
exactly difficult for police to track them
His parents are probably cousins.
that. Or siblings. Explains the anime cosplay.
No!
down. While this story is pretty crazy on its own, it was photos taken after the perpetrator's capture that garnered the most attention by the press. In a Facebook post published by Florida's Jackson County Sheriff's Office, photos of the deranged criminals were showcased. And in one of them, you can clearly see here that Molly is sporting a Raven cosplay, the costume being worn during the perpetration of the crime. To this day, it is somewhat unclear as to why she was wearing this Raven cosplay. If I had to take a
like I said,
guess,
I
I'd
think
say
they're-
maybe them being from South.
Like I said, they probably came from a
No,
convention.
there was no convention.
There wasn't?
No, she was just wearing that randomly. This poor girl can never watch.
Unless she was wearing it to try to make the person they were kidnapping feel comfortable, because they probably were coaxing her. It's like, hey, you like Teen Titans, so do we. But why would you agree to help someone? Those two girls, why were they part of that? I was
Man,
so...
this dude with the live adaptation of Teen Titans is not that good.
South Alabama had something to do with it. The juxtaposition of such a serious criminal offense being carried out by someone wearing
Adult
a
monsters.
half-baked Raven costume caused many in the comments section to mock the individuals responsible, with the story becoming a full-blown meme of sorts. Bizarrely, Molly's photo was even featured in official news coverage of the situation, adding to its absurdity.
Two are behind bars tonight after being arrested for kidnapping a girl in Jackson County, Florida. Colby Jerome Jordan is accused of kidnapping a girl Friday evening. The two then met up with two other females, one of whom is Molly Michelle Garrett.
Despite all the jokes being made at the criminal's expense, the authorities weren't laughing. At least publicly. In March of 2024, all three individuals responsible for the kidnapping were officially charged. While they had initially pled not guilty in 2023, it appeared that their two
It's even in the damn article. What the hell?
That she was very
had
photogenic. I
changed as the
guess.
legal case proceeded. The fact that they had crossed state lines also didn't help their situation, with the incident being considered a federal crime. In the end, Kobe was given 7 years, Destiny was given almost 6, and Molly, the redneck Raven, was given 11 with no chance of parole.
The
They're-
fuck?
Huh.
What was that about? Shouldn't the guy have gotten the most? What the fuck?
I don't know. We don't know all the stories. And CJ Odell's new subscriber here. So,
Oh, hello. Hi, new subscriber. Thank you.
but she must have either masterminded or it was her idea and that he didn't cover that part.
Unless she... They clearly said the guy was the one who duct taped the girl and beat her up. Why isn't he
Maybe
getting...
she was the mastermind. I don't know.
currently serving out their sentences.
Even
hoping-
still! No! He's the one who assaulted the girl!
Maybe she had a shitty lawyer. I don't know.
That doesn't make sense! The guy should have had the most time! That's dumb!
Never being able to cause harm to any more innocent teens again. For now, she'll be Azarath Metrion sitting her ass in prison. Death superhero attacked by real-life villain. Ray Shorn Pitt, or Ray for short, was a local phenomena in Florida. As a deaf person, Ray has sadly had fewer opportunities in life, often struggling to find positive ways to channel his energy. He was adopted by his father, a man named Rusty Pitt, and his wife Angie, all the way back in 2004. And growing up was a battle. Ray struggled with a lack of social skills and often lagged behind as a result. To top it all off, his adoptive father unfortunately passed away when Ray was a teenager, making his life even more difficult. Though a publication known as the Daily Commercial reported that things began to look up for Ray after a kind-hearted U.S. military veteran befriended him and gifted him a Superman costume. Ray was a big fan of superheroes and kung fu movies, and this costume allowed him a way to become his larger-than-life role models in a way.
Okay, this is precious. I'm scared how it's gonna go downhill now.
And channel his creative energies. At 20 years old, Ray, donning his gifted Superman costume, began standing on a street corner next to the highway in his hometown of Mineola, Florida, performing action moves and shadow boxing as cars passed by, doing so purely to entertain the public. Despite an occasional mean-spirited person making fun of him, most of the local residents found his presence to be positive, eventually dubbing Ray the Mineola superhero. Overall, it was a positive experience for him. It provided him with an opportunity to express himself, all while becoming a well-known and frankly beloved member of the community. However,
This is why I love cosplaying and I love going out and doing stuff like that. Like for example, there was a Pokemon Community Day at this local park of ours, and it was last year, I think. It was winter, so it wasn't as bad as it is now. But I dressed up in my my fursuit Articuno, and I made a bunch of little kids really happy, and it was really sweet. That's why I like fursuiting, because you can make people smile.
What? Now here's the downhill.
I don't want the downhill part.
This would change in the summer of 2017 when Ray met 26-year-old Tyler McCorvey. This deranged individual.
He looks like an asshole.
You just ever to see a face you just want to punch.
Yeah. God, I'm going to say this right now. He looks like one of those racist kind of type of people.
Oh, someone on the YouTube said cute model.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, cat.
For some reason, had a desire to fight the deaf superhero. According to later witness reports, Tyler was seen mocking Ray's disability before physically assaulting him. The incident was described by a woman who personally knew him in an interview with a local news station.
I saw him imitating Ray's moves. In between imitating them, he would hit him for real.
Interestingly, a video of the Mineola superhero and the villain does exist online, being posted to YouTube shortly after the story broke by a man named the Rocky Walsh.
He's yelling at him maybe for being out there doing his Superman.
Tyler McCorvey was quickly found and arrested, with many baffled as to why he had attacked a beloved local hero. It would
The kind of what's the word? A charge he needs is definitely assault and hate crime.
Florida man. Just a Florida man.
Is this one in Florida?
Yeah, it's in Florida.
Oh, I missed that part.
soon become clear that the man was extremely unstable mentally. After his arrest, he claimed that he was innocent and hadn't hurt anyone, despite there being clear evidence of so. After this defense didn't work, he started having a complete mental breakdown. Police claimed in later statements to news outlets that the man screamed at the top of his lungs, even going as far as to dunk his head into a toilet while claiming he wanted to die at the police station. According to WESH News, he was eventually charged with 2 counts of battery and aggravated abuse of a disabled adult. Despite the upsetting nature of this story, there was a silver lining to it. Ray didn't let the incident stop him from pursuing his hobbies as a superhero, and he went right back to the same street corner soon after to continue his work shadowboxing and entertaining the public. Because of this and the viral nature of the story, Ray became a sensation overnight, with hundreds of local residents showing their support for him on social media. A Facebook page was started in his honor, and many passers-by gave him drinks and other gifts while he stood out dancing in the hot sun, with
so
cheerful people
sweet.
honking at him as they passed by. I do want to clear one misconception that I've seen about this story online. The majority of news outlets that have reported on this story claimed that Ray was autistic. Just know that according to Ray's mother, this guy isn't autistic, he's simply deaf. As simple.
Yeah, that's not just because you like to do, just because you like to perform. Why does that automatically make you autistic?
I don't know, but yeah, it's more because the communication. People think he's not communicating right. Well, he can't because he's deaf.
Right. Huh.
As that could be, I guess. His mother, Angie, claimed that he had developmental issues, but denied that it was the result of autism. Though regardless, he was still a disabled adult who had been unjustly victimized. Thankfully, the community came together to support him. While the criminal in this story isn't actually the cosplayer, I did want to include it. The Mineola superhero story is a nice reminder that sometimes strangers can band together to make a positive impact on someone's life. These people came together to support an at-risk individual who they beloved in their town. While it's unclear exactly what the Mineola superhero is up to today, a video has been posted in recent years showing that he's on the same street corner performing his signature moves.
Aww.
Obese Punisher gets busted. One of the most iconic anti-heroes to come from comics is the Punisher. The Punisher took matters into his own hands, often killing criminals as a part of his own brand of vigilante justice. However, the fictional character unfortunately served as the inspiration for a potentially deadly crime that took place back in 2017. Matthew Sterling was a then 29-year-old man who, for some reason, developed
I don't know why I'm just laughing at this guy the way he looks.
a hatred of the actor Jason David Frank. Frank being best known for playing the iconic 90s iteration of the Green Power Rangers character. While his logic was a bit unclear, it seems...
Wait.
I thought Johnny on Boss was the Green Power Ranger.
No, he's shit. I can't remember what he does. It's not the green. Wasn't that the one that...
I don't think so.
Are you sure?
Sterling's rage was enough for him to want to take matters into his own hands. Matthew Sterling hatched a plot to show up to the 2017 Comic-Con event held in Arizona while dressed up as the Punisher, and he wanted to shoot Jason when he was there, the actor being a scheduled speaker at the event. Matthew also planned to kill any police officers who tried to stop him. The overweight Punisher purchased real firearms and an assortment of other weapons. He geared up and traveled to the convention, arriving on May 25th.
You know,
What?
I just realized technically it wouldn't be hard to sit there, color the tip of an actual...
Well, they actually have to look at the gun, too.
They actually, hold it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, hold the... Yeah, you're right,
when they
you're
do
right.
weapons check. But the problem is the weapon check is all... Nagako in particular is all the way upstairs.
And it's not exactly mandatory. They don't really enforce it too well. Also, if you get your hands on like one of the little zip ties they're using, you can pretend that it was checked. So there's a lot of ways.
The thing is, since realistic guns are worn quite often at cosplays, nobody really gave him much of a second glance. Surveillance footage shows the portly Punisher walking around freely, going up and down the halls without
You've been punishing KFC.
any interruption, though he would eventually draw some attention. The details of how this man was stopped were covered extensively in a lengthy article by the Phoenix New Times. According to this publication, Matthew had avoided numerous security checkpoints and entered the convention with his guns without issue. Officers had become aware of his presence due to a disturbing tip they had received from an acquaintance of him. Apparently, he had been messaging them on social media about plans and had made numerous concerning posts as well. After hearing about this, authorities entered the con and tried to find him.
See, this is the shit that scares me. You know, I've never actually heard of an anime convention getting shot up, but it could happen.
Let's not put that idea out there.
Shit, you're right. Oh god, we're gonna die.
Let's just not think about that shit and move on.
Soon would find Matthew and approached him to detain, but they struggled significantly when trying to subdue him. This was due to the man's enormous weight. Eventually, though, this guy would be brought into custody. After he was arrested and questioned, it was clear that this guy was more mentally deranged than anyone could have predicted. He seemed to believe he was the actual real-life embodiment of the Punisher. The guy was completely nuts, saying that he had actually previously stabbed Jason Frank, the Green Power Ranger, 15 years ago, and wanted to finish the job. And no, he did not stab Jason 15 years ago. The guy was cuckoo. In true Punisher fashion, he also stated he believed corrupt police officers needed to be killed and that he was the man to do it. After an investigation, it was also discovered that Matthew Sterling had set a reminder on his cell phone to kill the Power Rangers actor on that day of Comic-Con, setting it as like an alert in his iPhone. This bro had the fucking alarm setups for it. Obviously, this was a lot to take in for the media who was reporting on this case. While the
You know, I'm gonna say I'm not the most mentally stable person myself, but I at least can
You can live in reality.
I can live in reality. I understand the difference between reality and fiction,
The Big Mac's got to him.
more or less. That's why they're. Dude, did you hear that they're getting rid of like a bunch of unhealthy foods and stuff?
Yeah, they shipped him out of the country. It solved a lot of the problems.
The incident was certainly very serious. The bizarre nature of his claims, combined with his unique look, caused some onlookers to find the whole ordeal somewhat funny, including myself. A local news outlet seemed to subtly mock him in their report, making multiple references about the guy's weight.
This guy, as you can see, Matthew Sterling, is a big guy, and we...
All y'all in Phoenix, it's like 99 degrees.
This guy's the big. I love the way she said that. By the way, I
You can
just
see
wanted
him
to...
from several angles on that day as we walk to the Phoenix Convention Center for Phoenix Comic-Con this year. That struggle is not captured on any of the center's cameras. You can see Sterling is massive in size. It did take some time for officers to take him into custody.
Jason the Green Ranger himself would soon respond to the incident. In an interview with the NBC News affiliate, he said, "I've already forgiven him. Do I want him to serve jail time and get mental help? Absolutely." The convention director also made a statement to Facebook claiming that the event was now upping its security measures. This
That's really generous of him to forgive someone for wanting to try to kill them.
Did anybody say that the Green Ranger was a big dick, or was it someone else? One of the other Rangers?
I don't remember. I'm also trying to remember which is the one that did the non-aliving.
Yeah.
I heard something about that. Oh, I got it.
included banning props of any kind in an effort to prevent weapons from sneaking through again. This resulted in a significant amount of backlash from attendees in the comments, with many feeling that it was an overreaction. Why don't you ask Jason Frank? I think he would.
They just need to do their job better.
You read this chat.
What happened? What
Just
happened?
read that chat right there.
That's called a BIF, but in front.
Say it's not an overreaction. I think anybody looking at this rationally would say that it was probably a pragmatic choice to ban the fake replicas just for this con. While Sterling initially pled not guilty in court, the proof was undeniable. The real question, though, was this guy culpable considering his mental health? Given the fact that he was clearly mentally ill, his lawyers sought an insanity.
Let's go, man. Buy the Taco Bell Dirty Baja Blast.
Oh no.
Plea on the basis that he didn't know he was doing anything wrong when perpetrating his deed. In an article by AZ Central, it was revealed that an initial psychiatric evaluation determined Sterling might have had schizophrenia. During the trial, his lawyer, Dwayne Cates, stated, His psychosis seems to struggle between being Batman and the Punisher, which is significant because Batman does not kill anyone while the Punisher does. In late 2020, Matthew Sterling was sentenced to serve over 25 years in a mental hospital, where he remains today. In the end, it was fortunate that he hadn't actually harmed anyone and that he was caught before he could do any real damage.
He's the Blubbisher.
I remember thinking of that Simpsons episode, Homer standing in front of the light. It's like, is that Homer? That a Batman let himself go? What? Yeah.
The Japanese Joker attack.
Ooh,
In 2019, the
Yep, I knew
Joker
it.
shocked the world with its dramatic and unique take on the iconic supervillain. Instead of being a criminal mastermind, the humble yet insane Arthur
What?
So someone, he's just like me. I hope not.
Who's just like you? What?
It's something I saw on Twitch. Cough.
Dude, let me look.
Fleck was
Doggy.
portrayed as a mentally ill loner who committed heinous crimes after completely snapping when society pushes him to the brink. Now you guys remember this with a
That's one of those movies. I can't. It's a good movie, but I cannot watch it again because it's so powerful. Like it's just the emotions. I cannot watch the movie twice.
I probably could.
lot
second one,
of
not
chatter
so
about would this movie cause real world violence, and for the most part that proved not to be the case. But an incident did occur in 2021 that very much mimicked the actions of the supervillain. In October of that year, a then 24-year-old man named Kyoto Hattori boarded a Japanese subway train. Without warning, he pulled out a knife and began attacking passengers. He then would start a fire using lighter fluid that he had on hand, causing smoke to fill the entire car. Passengers can be seen in videos of the incident running in terror, climbing out of the subway car windows after it had come to a stop.
Oh. Now that's horrifying. Dude. I know he's cosplaying as the Joker, I guess. But you know what he makes me, who he reminds me of, how that attire and stuff and junk?
Kira.
Yoshikage Kira. Yep.
Panic and confusion ensued, with the suspects soon being apprehended by authorities. In the end, he managed to cause minor injuries to 16 people, with one 72-year-old man being hospitalized after it was revealed he was stabbed. The ordeal caused quite the media stir, not just because incidents were rare like this in Japan, but because the guy was dressed like the Joker. Footage later surfaced of Kyoto smoking a cigarette while riding in the subway train.
I don't know. That's giving me more Yoshikage Kira vibes. No. I can't think of a Joker costume that wears a tie. I feel like that's more Yoshikage Kira.
Yeah, true.
Train car, seemingly fully LARPing as the Joker. When questioned, he claimed that he idolized the Joker and had wanted to kill as many people as possible. Apparently, in true Arthur Fleck Joker fashion, Kyoto claimed that he had been driven to this violence after hitting a breaking point, with the stress of society and drama in his personal life resulting in him hitting rock bottom. According to an article by the Japanese news company FNN, he had been devastated with grief after his girlfriend of 9 years broke up with him and married someone else just 6 months later. And after that, he went Joker mode. He had also been transferred to a different department at his job after making a mistake, causing him to become borderline suicidal. When asked in court why he chose to imitate the Joker, he stated this: "I wanted to become like him. The Joker doesn't value human life. He doesn't think anything of hurting people. I thought I couldn't commit murder unless I had that kind of feeling." It's an interesting case study, with the bizarre nature of the crime causing it to gain even more attention. The BBC released a think piece on the situation soon after, analyzing the cultural reasons as to why the event occurred, and commented on Japanese society in general. The article makes a point that several other similar attacks had occurred in the past. One particular incident from 2008 is mentioned, when a man drove a truck into a crowd of people and began
Hey, it happens in Japan too.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was actually down at the Akihabara where we want to go.
Oh, fun. So watch out for cars when we get to go to Japan.
They done fix it where they have like poles come out of the ground and keep so you can walk in the street. That was the thing.
Oh, that's nice.
Stabbing them. His reasoning for the attack had been similar to Kyoto. He faced pressure in his personal life, seemingly became suicidal, and then took his frustrations out on society. When questioned by the author as to why he dressed up like the Joker, a Japanese criminal psychologist had this to say: "He is a distorted attention seeker. By dressing up as the Joker on Halloween night, he thought he will stand out more. By acting like the Joker and saying he looked up to him, he can get more attention from the people. I don't think he decided to copy the Joker because he saw the movie." Kyoto Hattori was eventually sentenced to serve 23 years in prison, with the incident still remaining a topic of discussion in Japanese media even to this day. And well, you made it to the end. Let me know who or...
Yeah.
Ooh, sheesh, that was deep.
Well, thank you for watching this video with us. Bye.